Recording in progress, I suppose. Anyway, welcome everyone. Today is May the 3rd, and that's official community meeting for Harbor. My name is Orlan, and I'm the community lead for Harbor. Thank you everyone for joining. Please follow the code of conduct as this is official CNCF meeting. So, yeah. With that, I'm gonna send in the chat our community meetings notes into GitHub. So if you like, add yourself there. Add your topics so we can go through them and discuss them for today. And I'm going to share that thing. All right. As you can see, nobody added anything. That's great. So I'm going to edit that page and see how it goes. All right. And that's okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Anyone want to kick off with any discussion topics? I have few. No, super quiet. Anyone tested the 2.8 release already? I'm looking at Stefan and Diogo. I'm sorry, mate. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Diogo? Okay.
We didn't have a chance to test the 2.8 release because we have a dependency because we need to ensure the migration from, so to say, classic Helm charts to OCI artifacts. And Vadim was so kind to invite me to the proxy service repo, which I've now access to. And I've planned with my team for next week to have a Dojo session, make it run, make it functional in a test environment, and see how it's going. And it depends on that experience if we go straight forward to 2.8. Yeah, but we are a little bit driven there because since last week we faced a lot of issues with Chart Museum, so we are really driven there to migrate away from Chart Museum.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one that Vadim is driving as like a side project to migrate the classic Helm charts to OCI ones?
Yes, it's working like a proxy, so to say, and replaces in-flight or migrates or transfers the Helm charts into an OCI. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's planned for next week. We will see how it's going. And yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And regarding the Terraform provider, so have a backup from my employer, so we can be part of it, so to say, with our work time. So it's no problem. Checked it out, but so check the repository out, but it's here and there. It's a black box for me, so I need little introduction, ramp up, onboarding to get started there. So
okay,
maybe a 101 side off. I don't know.
And I'm sorry. Is that going to be like official involvement of DHL, or that will be your personal one? How we can?
That needs to be clarified, but so I can work on that topic. It's not completely a hobby, so to say. But if we sign this with DHL, this is still in discussion.
Sure. Yeah. It's curiosity. It's not like. Yeah. Of course, every project needs more adoption listed, right? But yeah, it's more of like my thing.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that. It's like huge progress. So I don't think we have anyone from the team that is primarily working on the Terraform right now. So I cannot point you to the right person as of now, but we can do that offline. And yep, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, from community standpoint of view, I have two things. The KubeCon China, so Shanghai and Chicago opened their CFPs. So if someone is planning to apply for them to talk, I'll be super happy to help you out. And China, KubeCon actually accommodates open source summit as well. So it's going to be very kind of big event there. So yeah, if someone needs help with the application there, anything related, I'm planning to visit the open source summit in KubeCon in Shanghai. I need to apply for visa. Maybe that
Oh,
also
really? Oh,
yes. Next week I'm going to Spain with the kids, and right after that I'm going to the Chinese embassy to apply for visa. So
okay.
we can meet and greet there, have drinks. You promised me drinks, by the way, on
Yes,
KubeCon.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm waiting for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else in today's agenda. I can see some new faces that joined. Hi Ono. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names, but that's how I think sounds like. So please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yes, hello, Onno Brouwer from Rijkswaterstaat in the Netherlands. Yeah, last KubeCon we also joined KubeCon, of course, and one of my colleagues, Jelle van der Kooi, was also in the harbor meetup, which turned out to be quite a small room, if I remember correctly. So I hope next time more people can join, but maybe it's not expected people there. But yeah, quite an interesting experience. And yeah, we also use Harbor on our premises. We also now do the integration with GLSOB, so make it high available with replication of projects, because yeah, redundancy. And I was wondering what kind of efforts are ongoing for CLI, some kind of thing you can use to talk to Harbor. Because I remember in the past we had issues with functionality which was not available in the GUI at the time. And I made a small client to do stuff like removing the old repos, the how you call that functionality, to get rid of all the versions. But I just was wondering what kind of efforts are going in that direction. I don't want to duplicate work. I want to update my CLI for the newer Harbor version, but I don't know what we do have in there. So there is a proposal, right?
Yeah, you're dropping out a little bit, so I'm not sure if I got everything, but I suppose you were asking about the CLI. Yes, so to prompt you in this one, we applied for the Linux Foundation mentorship program, and we have one of the project is that CLI thing. So Akshat, who is right now not on the call, but he's working on that effort to streamline and make possibly the first official CLI for Harbor, because there are many others other. Jan Wan, who is on the call, he's one of the technical mentors of Akshat. So if you have some questions, I think Ono, if you can take a look at the proposal, it will be super helpful.
Put the link in the chat, maybe.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you.
So if you can, actually, that will help a lot, Akshat, to review and to make the proposal better and more, how to say, complete. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right. Just a side note, Wilfred, I can see you posted some stuff in the chat. Can you add this to the community meetings, mate, please, so we can have a track and we can discuss that.
Sure. Can you just share the link for me to add quickly?
Yeah, sure. I did that in the very beginning, and it's also in the invite. Here we go. Once again into the chat. I can see some other topics added by Minu. But before that, because I think that will be a long discussion about the Helm chart and the chart museum. I saw some of the new folks. Okay, not exactly new, but Diogo, can you introduce yourself? I'm not sure if you visited before our meetings.
I already popped up here, but I don't come. Yeah, so I'm Diogo CERN. I'm the only one managing the registry here, so there's that. And I'm trying to, just here to see what you talk about, and that's it. I'm most active in the hardware itself, in the repository, where I try to fix my problems and understand what's going on with people. And sometimes I commit something back, mostly for the help chart though. So, yeah.
Nice. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna ping you if that's okay, and that's also valid for Ono. I'm gonna ping you offline if you can share a little bit of your story. I'm trying to collect like the overview of who is using Harbor and how, if it's possible to share, of course.
No problem.
So
Yeah.
so that can be like I'm not trying to build like a community knowledge kind of hub, but it's more of a effort to streamline a little bit different use cases, like what Stefan did on the project community meeting at KubeCon was fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So something like that. So people, when they wonder, hey, I want to implement Harbor, what the hell I can, oh, sorry, I shouldn't be using these words. What the heck I should be implementing. So that's kind of thing that I'm trying to work on. So
Okay.
if it's, yeah.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
cool. Well, you could of course add Docker Hub to it. I mean, for us, that was like the major reason to massively start using Harbor, because of the change in policy for Docker Hub. And there were some, I think there were some hacks in the past as well, or was that GitHub? I forget, but there was also this GitHub to Docker Hub integration, which was no longer freely available, and things were getting hard. And yeah, so we decided to also create projects to use Harbor as a Docker proxy cache, because the rate limiting was basically killing us. So yeah, Harbor helps us a lot with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we had smoke tests running like a pull the same image every 5 minutes. Well, yeah, then Docker Hub will kill us pretty quick, so it doesn't work.
You. Alrighty. So thanks for that. I'll ping you. Wilfred, I'm not sure you've would have in the meeting agenda. I cannot see that.
I added it in the discussion topic.
Yeah, but I really cannot see this one.
The last line, review the proposal for versatile filters. No, you have it on your screen. Just the last line on the discussion topics.
I cannot see it for today, but
down there, below the 2.9. Okay.
yeah, but you added it for the previous session.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, you'll fix that after we discuss that.
Yeah.
So so Wilfred is let me introduce you a little bit. Wilfred is one of our mentees from the Linux Foundation mentorship program, and his project is to work on the replication filters, and they can be more versatile and more regex oriented. So I'm gonna paste his proposal into the chat again, so everyone can check it. If you want to review that, it will be great. Wilfred, do you want to chat a little bit about your proposal?
Yes, just give me 2 minutes. I'll screen share and walk you folks over the proposal.
It's not a rush. It's not like mandatory, because but you posted it if you want to check it. So I'll be. We can dedicate some time in the end if you want. To if you want to share your work.
No. So I can go over the proposal right now. So can I screen share?
Yeah, sure. There you go.
Okay, so let me know once it's visible. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the proposal for adding more fine-grained versatile replication filters. So these are like the goals for adding it. So initially, the implementation I had in mind was to support uh, uh, semantic version numbers, because the initial issue had the requirement for supporting the version numbers. So that's what I initially thought. But then after a chat with the mentors, we figured that should usually support, like add or give the option to the users to specify the regular expression by themselves, so that they can have a complete control of the replication rules. So these were the initial two approaches. So this what the second approach that I had in mind was that to accept a regular expression from the user on the portal and then perform the filtering based on that. So this is just a regular expression for the semantic version number thing. And apart from that, last week I had a chat with Vadim, and we figured out 4 to 5 ways of how to get the regular expression from the user. So one of that is adding a new input field for a regular expression. So right now, if you see the replication rules UI, these are the 4 options available here, and the we the approach proposes to add a separate field, and that would just take input the regular expression. So this approach like wouldn't need any migration, because since the regular expression rule would be added as a separate field, the rules that are existing would still work, and no migration would be needed, and users can switch to the regular expression based filtering as their convenience. But it has development and logical complexity, because users might try to combine the regular expression based rule and the existing double star pattern rule, and it might cause some conflicts in there. So it has its complexities, and the changes are also needed on the UI portal, the API handlers, and the filtering logic. So it is time consuming and too many moving parts to handle and for me to change. So this is not quite preferred. Then accept regular expression in existing input fields and distinguish between the glob pattern and the regex pattern. So the existing input fields that are there, the regular expression can be accepted in here along with the existing rules. And to distinguish whether a user is trying to match the glob pattern or the regular expression pattern, it could be specified in the forward slash slashes, just like we write normal regular expression to distinguish. And the distinguishing can be done on the backend, so no change would be needed on the UI, just on the backend. We would have to distinguish how to identify the regular expression. And the pros are reuse of existing UI, and the existing filters do continue working. But again, the same problem that users might try to combine the glob and regex pattern, which will again get complicated. And distinguishing between a glob rule and the expression rule might fail on the backend due to unidentified edge cases. So it needs some effort on the testing side too. And database schema change needed to store the glob rule and regular expression rule separately, because one field might be the regular expression field and another might be the glob field. So even this is not what I'm personally am not preferring this approach. And then the third approach is to provide an option for choosing between the glob and the regular expression pattern. So a radio button based choice can be offered between the glob pattern and the regex pattern. And once the regular expression pattern is selected, then the user can basically, there would be fields here whether the user wants to filter a name, tag, or label, and the user can only input regular expression. So it is only regular expression and only glob, no combination of both. So this would be easy to understand and use, and a seamless and convenient migration. But again, too many moving parts to change the UI, the API handlers, and the database schema along with the filtering logic. and it would be higher maintaining and development complexity, because then the glob pattern needs to be maintained and the regular expression pattern needs to be maintained. So that's there. And then the fourth approach is to completely deprecate the glob pattern and migrate completely to the backend. So this would be instant migration to regex rule, providing more fine-grained control and no need to maintain both regex and glob. But this has a high chance of breaking the existing installations and causing heavy migrations. So this is a convenient approach on the development side, but considering the existing user base, this one might not quite be preferred and has a higher rate of breaking existing installations and causing migrations. And then the fifth approach is accept both regular expression and glob pattern and UI, and implement only regex based filtering in the backend, and then convert the glob based rules to regex rules in the backend. So I'll explain this one in a bit detail. So what we will do is, on the UI portal, we would accept both the glob pattern based rules and regular expression rules. On the backend, we would remove the glob pattern filtering, the filtering logic that currently exists, and completely implement the regular expression based filtering, and convert these glob rules into regular expression rules, so that only filtering logic that is there is of the regular expression and the globbing is removed, and users don't notice the change. Users can add the regular expression and the glob patterns, and whatever glob pattern they add, similar to the existing one, it would get converted into a regular expression pattern. And so existing glob rules in the currently which are stored in the data can be converted to regular expression rules directly on the runtime. So there isn't need. And apart from that, a migration script can be provided. We can provide a migration script while updating to the newer version that would automatically convert the existing rules into regex rules and store in the database. And existing rules continue working, and the filtering logic gets implemented without any change to the UI. But it has again a chance of breaking existing, like a sudden upgrade. It might break some installations if there is too much of a version gap between the user's current installation and the newest release that we publish. So it might break, and also needs a migration script, which is another moving part to handle. And conversion of the glob pattern to regular expression pattern must have 100% coverage. So right now I don't have like absolute idea of what the various ways users are using the replication filters. So there might be some unidentified edge cases that might cause a replication rule to fail. So this is this whole proposal, and you folks can just read it once and drop in your thoughts in the discussions, and we would be happy to get along from there. So the fifth one is what currently I am favoring, because yeah, I did have a chat with Vadim, and we figured that this fifth one would make better sense to implement. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Very good job. Anyone wants to comment anything, or we'll take that as a homework and review that proposal offline?
Yeah, it seems that you have provided a lot of options for the implementation, right? So I personally prefer we can provide the select a checkbox for user to select whether he wants to use regex or global as filter. It's maybe the false option. The third one. Yeah. Yes, I personally agree this one. But we should have a voting within the maintainer group, right? Since we have 5 options to introduce the new functionality for replication policy, right? Given we will have a lot of work in the backend, but we still I still personally like we can have a filter mode and let user to choose which one he wants to use. And we just introduce another one. And if user want use the existing the double star, he still can use it. And we have another option. And we do have a deprecation policy. So if we wanted to migrate all the existing policy to Regis filter mode, we can follow the deprecation policy. That maybe we can deprecate the double star mode in somehow in some future releases. But I personally like the third one. But I will add comments in the proposal. Thank you for all the work, and we should let more maintainers to review this proposal to add their opinion, right?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. So since we would be meeting next week, as discussed on our chat, so till then we can ask the other maintainers to review so that we can get on the implementation from next week.
Yes, I will let the maintainer know this proposal and add their opinion on this.
Yep. Thank you, Wilfred. Okay, someone sign me off from that account. Anyway, I think the next topic will be to discuss the deprecation of the home, the chart museum, which Minu wanted to discuss. I think that topic will come around for the next few weeks quite often. Minu, can you share your concerns?
Hey, hi. I'm joining from VMware and I'm a new product manager for Harbor. So I'm trying to bring understanding on Harbor use cases, different use cases, and what I get to hear off late very recently about deprecation of chart museum. Looks like there have been many customers who have been using this feature, especially in Harbor OVA case. And they're keen to understand if this can be still used and what is the reason behind deprecation despite the usage and the utility of the feature. So yeah, just curious to know from community standpoint, the context behind deprecating this usable feature, I would say.
Wanyan, do you want to take this one? Or
Yeah. So can you, hey Olin, can you open the this URL? I add
yeah, sure.
paste in the chat. Yep.
Give me.
Yeah. This is the background of why we decided to deprecate the chart museum. So the original idea was that the chart museum, the upstream chart museum project, is not under maintained. They were seeking a maintainer from community right now. So and both Helm and Harbor team believe that the OCA compatible chart are the future. So we decided to move from chart museum to OCA compatible charts, and we announced the deprecation at 2021. Yeah, about 1.5 years ago. So can you, Olin, can you open that discussion? It's not. You can scroll down a little bit. Yeah, the discussion URL. Yes. Yeah. We explained why we wanted to remove the chart museum and allow discussion around this topic, and we input some background in this discussion, why we do this and when we do this, and how to migrate chart files into the OCR compatible charts. And yeah, this is all the you can go through the message I input in the GitHub, and it has a lot of information that we announced to the community.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah,
timeline.
the whole discussion is quite lengthy anyway. I mean, should we, you mean which message? This one?
Yes,
Or-
yes, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I added all the background for
Yeah,
why we decided to remove the termination. Yes. So anyone who has concern on this, so you can go through this message.
mhm.
Yeah, we so as regarding to the Harbor OVA, I think it is the officially is for the Tenzu customer. So it's out of scope of the Harbor community meeting. So if you want to discuss the Harbor OVA, I think you can contact us through the internal Slack channel. It is not maintained by the Harbor OSS, Harbor community. It's an internal product within Vimeo. So if you have any question regarding to the Harbor OVA, yeah, just ask question through the internal Slack channel.
Sure. I think there's a Harbor OVA Slack channel. So the question is asked there, but looks like there is no response.
You can okay, or you can ping me directly. Yeah, I will answer that question. So, but the Harbor OVA will align with the Harbor OSS version. That means if once Harbor OVA upgrade to use Harbor OSS 2.8, so it cannot support the chart museum. Anyway.
Wanyan, sorry, I have to interrupt. Can you folks take this offline?
Sure.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's yeah, it looks like it's more VMware internal than community. Actually, VMware entirely internal than community. So I suppose we should yeah.
Yes,
also
yeah,
left.
the back, but yeah. So back to the chart user deprecation. We are working on the migration script. Yes, we do have a migration wiki page right now, but it's too complicated for user to migrate their existing chart files. So we wanted to do an enhancement on this, and right now we are working on that, and we want to optimize the whole process and reduce from 10 steps maybe to 3 or 4 steps, and help user to convert all the existing chart files into OCR charts one time, rather than one time for a specific project. So well, probably we can finish it by the end of next week.
Wanyan, is that effort related to what Stefan mentioned in the beginning for the Vadim's script, or it's a separate
No,
effort?
can you open the release notes of 2.8?
Yeah, sure.
We have a link to that migration script.
You're referring to this one?
Yes, correct. So yes, this is a workable solution, but it has 10 steps, and
yeah,
it's too complicated for user to migrate their existing charts. So we wanted to do an enhancement on this, and to try to reduce from 10 steps to maybe 3 or 4 steps. Yes, we maybe can finish it by the end of next week.
Stefan and Vadim, is that somehow related to the task that you do?
No, I don't think so. This is what you can do with your own Helm charts. And I think this is quite a feasible way for the teams and transparent. But what we are looking for is there's this artifacthub.io where a lot of vendors are providing their Helm charts, and a lot of our teams are relying on that. For example, Nginx Cert Manager, Ingress Controller, whatever. And they are provided in the classical Helm chart way. And we have a project which replicates the needed Helm charts. And they are currently stored in the Helm chart museum part of Harbor, and providing them then internally, right? As a analogy to Docker Hub proxy project, it's like a more or less a mirror. And what we're looking for is that we're still being connected to the artifacthub.io, and Helm charts which are replicated coming as a classical Helm chart will then in flight replaced to the OCI artifact type and stored in the repository, not in the Helm chart museum.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is another use case.
Yeah, it's another aspect of the same story. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Vadim, you're so quiet today, and you're in some attic somewhere, cozy space.
Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry for being late. Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to follow the discussion here.
Yeah, we not sure when exactly you joined, but Minu asked about the Helm chart, the chart museum deprecation and migration and stuff, but it was more related on VMware internal stuff with the OVA shipped with the Tanzu. And then Wanyan shared that thing, which for some reason I missed out from the release notes. It's super well hidden in the release notes. I think we have to edit a little bit the release notes so can be more emphasized on these steps, because people are like super frustrated. I cannot use my Helm charts, but we provided some way of doing that, so we should be more vocal on this one. All right. Yeah, I'll fix the release notes, and actually I'm gonna send that link to the mailing list if someone needs to follow that and they missed that. It's surprisingly how many folks are not reading the release notes, yeah, including me. Obviously, I definitely slipped this one. I don't know how that happened. And I wrote the blog post about the release, so yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's not getting more embarrassing to me. Anyone else wants to share anything for today? Yeah, Ono, go ahead. Not sure what do you mean by pointing this one, but
sorry, I put my question in the. Sorry, I was put a chat.
You put something in the chat.
We want in the chat. Yeah, basically we want to enable. How you say that? Disallow insecure image. You can configure Harbor for that. But it doesn't work if we use it as a proxy cache to Docker Hub, because scanning is not synchronous. I think it's the scanner will only be effective the second time you pull the image, not the first time. Are there any plans to close that gap, let's say, or how to put it?
So you say that if you pull an image from Docker Hub through Harbor proxy, you will always get it regardless the CVEs.
Exactly, because the scanner is not finished scanning when it's doing the pulling. At least that was some time ago, and I don't know if there are any plans to make it synchronous or make it optional to make it synchronous.
Can I rephrase this question again? Because I think it's already on the issue. So you mean that when you have So when you enable Harbor as a proxy, for example, for Docker Hub, right?
Yeah.
And then you pull an image from the proxy, from Docker Hub, and this image is pulled, and you can pull it. But when you pull it once, the scanner is triggered in the background and might flag the image as vulnerable. So when you try to pull the image the second time, it's not working anymore.
Yeah.
Is it correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
That is correct.
We have it already tracked in the GitHub in GitLab.
Oh,
GitHub,
perfect. Okay. I have to check.
Yeah.
That's all.
This is a common problem that we cannot solve that easily because it's a proxy, right? So we need to find a way how we can kind of like it's an on-the-fly process. So I'm not sure if we will able to resolve this issue easily because it's a proxy and things happen on the fly, and when they land on the disk, then you can start scanning and so.
But Onno, I don't know how it's implemented within your working environment, but are the teams free in choosing the images and having access on the whole catalog from Docker Hub? Because we have for another source for Quai, we not proxying this upstream registry, we are mirroring it, and we are mirroring certain versions and tags and chars and scan them and have them secured. So the teams have access to up to images from Red Hat repository, but we have this kind of deployment security enabled for these images. So they're not going to production without scanning. But it only works if you don't need access to the full catalog because you're not coming to manage that.
So practically, you are like preheating the images and scanning them prior actually consuming them. Because as far as I get it, the issue what Onno is having is like you can consume the first time the image, but then the second time you're not. Yeah. As Vadim said, it's an issue. Open that. But Vadim, by chance, do you know the issue, or we can search for it?
No, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, basically want to block also for the first time. Yes. Yeah. It's also what I understand.
Oh no, in my previous team we fixed that. Okay, fixed is not the right term, but we bypassed that issue by like preheating. So we knew what's gonna be pulled from the internet, let's say, and we pre-pulled that, we scan it, and eventually we fixed some of these issues or not. And we took decisions with the OPA how we're gonna work forward with the images from GitHub in particular.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's always workable and manageable.
Yeah. And we are doing this via replication. So we are replicating certain images into one of our projects, scan them, and have the deployment security active. So if a new image is replicated, then it will be scanned, and this is synchronous. It will not be able to pull at the first time if it has some certain severity in their vulnerabilities.
Okay, thank you.
But it's not practical if the team wants to have access to the full catalog because it's not manageable.
No.
Okay.
Only if you have a certain amount of images to manage from upstream.
I found the issue.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, it's quite old, 2020.
We have limited manpower.
Yeah, I know
to work
it's a
on
small
all
thing.
this,
It's like 4 people, or I don't know how
it's
many.
a little bit more, but still, it's like not full blown kind of project
Yeah,
work.
I understand. I can understand it. You also have to make priorities, and maybe this is only a very small issue. It's only happening the first time, so we're just
That sounds this sounds like a joke. It only happening once, and then you're all good. But yeah, it's a bad joke anyway. But yeah, but if you yeah, we can take a look, and maybe we can try to find resources to put some priority on this one for the next release. If it's obviously it's a very old issue and still not fixed, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think it will be difficult to find a solution for that. Right, because it's, conceptually you're proxying something you don't know you're proxying, right? So unless you only know it when it's done, right? And then it's not proxying, right? So otherwise it should be some sort of a proxy relay or something. So first, when you request something, you expect that the data is, coming, but yeah, I think it will not be solved. I mean, we might do some magic works here, but no, I don't think it will work.
Yeah,
I think we need to clarify
it's not like straightforward to solve that issue. It's more like a work around it with some like some policies, like do not serve it until it's scanned and it's okay, but that will add huge delays in actually serving that image in. So but it will increase potentially security and make it more compliant. Yeah, Ono mentioned some very nice words like SOC compliant and stuff, which are the
But if you only want Bitnami images make available, then you can replicate them. You can replicate, you have a schedule like, I don't know, every hour, every 20 hours, and have this not as a proxy, but more as a mirror via replication. Then you have your value directly and not with a workaround, so to say.
But that's again valid if you know what you're gonna use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not the case for many environments.
Yeah.
All right. I'm adding some stuff to the agenda for today, but anyone else wants to share something? Vadim, I think you're up to speak. Or
okay, did Stefan mention around the OCI Helm chart proxy?
Yep.
So did he show it here? So I can point to the project.
That's no problem. Just said that that I got the invitation from you, so thanks for that. Very kind. And I've planned with my team for the next week a little dojo or hack session to make this work in our environment. And hopefully provide some feedback and hopefully have then a good decision point to go forward to 2.8, because we rely on Handshot Museum right now, but we want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
because it causes a lot of operational problems in our platform.
Okay, yeah. So I'm currently, writing the documentation for the project, how it's working, how to spin up yourself, and also how it's working and the inner works. I hope I can present it in 2 weeks in more detail and explaining how it works. But basically, it's a proxy, right? So when you, Olin, can you open up the example? Yeah, the test first. Yeah, if you take a look at the test line, like just exactly. You see, you could take the next one, right? The second line, you can just copy and paste in your CLI, and this will already work. So
nice.
Yeah, And so this means that you can address every chart museum as an OCI image.
And that stage proxy is getting it from the
Exactly.
one
You
that
see
you
it. It's
specified,
constructing it from the URL, right? So it's fetching then from charts Bitnami.com, Bitnami Airflow, and it will fetch the latest one, and then you can specify the concrete the exact version.
Nice.
And this is actually the use case for it solves the problem that if you're relying on public charts, in your organization, you can use this one to replicate, create replication rules that will replicate charts from public endpoints to your internal organization.
So maybe Vadim, if we go ahead next week with the team and facing some questions or issues, I think we can contact you directly.
Yes.
I think that
So yeah. So can you give us a demo as well in the next community meeting?
In the next community meeting, I will have a better documentation, and I can show how it is working, and I also can demo it. So I think it's a bit too early now.
And last question to that, sorry. So you provide in this repository a Helm chart as well to deploy the proxy, right?
Yeah, there is one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So and in the values YAML, you can specify the proxy for your, or in this case for our own environment. Or
yeah. This is basically it's a standard Helm chart. There's nothing special here. It's just a basic Helm chart. It has an ingress, and that's it.
And in the, sorry, Orlan, can you scroll down a little bit to the host section? And here in the stage proxy container registry, I would add an URL from our own environment.
Well, this is the ingress, right? So this is like your own internal URL.
Yes. Okay, that's what was my question. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing special about this Helm chart here. It's just, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Vadim, is it made in a way, or is designed in a way that eventually we can integrate that to the main Harbor project, or?
It could, yeah. It has. We designed it specifically in a way that has really little dependencies. So I think the only dependencies we have is, I think, Go containers or something, right? And I think this is what we are also using in Harbor. And then of course there's some caching stuff, but it's not interesting. We can get rid of it. But it has no dependencies whatsoever.
Nice.
I'm not sure. So either it has Aura dependency to Auras, or dependency to Google Go containers or something, or containers. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Both cases we should be good because we use them for the build, and the Auras is part of the client ecosystem for Harbor, right?
Yeah. So we have these dependencies already, and yeah, it can. So I can show you quickly a replication example if you don't mind.
This would be great.
Actually, I would love to see that. I'll stop sharing.
Just quickly. So you're seeing my demo registry, right?
Yes.
So this is the demo instance, and we have here charts, Bitnami charts, right? So there's like 350 megabyte of charts. So it's basically all the Bitnami charts. We copy them for testing. And we have the JetStack, so the cert manager charts as well here. So it's also like 1,000 charts, and you just create a replication rule, and then you create a replication rule, and then you replicate from. And you first need to create a registry. Yeah, probably it's unhealthy because the instance is not running. But so you create a, let's say, JetStack replication. So you create a registry, endpoint URL. You need to send the endpoint to the URL you want to fetch from. it has to do something with the way how Harbor is doing the replication and how Harbor is doing the lookup. But basically, we need to create for each need to create an endpoint with the URL inside, because otherwise the proxy cannot figure it out. And this is how you create the endpoint, and then you create a replication rule. And the replication rule is basically, the same way, just everything from chat.jet.io, **, or whatever you want to, right? And then you can match whatever you want to, and then you can make it, run it, and then it will replicate all the charts as OCI into your own registry.
So the registry refers to the URL from your proxy service, which runs maybe locally in your cluster.
It can be local, it can be remote, yes.
Yeah. Ah, great, thank you.
But you need to make sure that you add, when you add it as a registry, right? So as a registry, you need to add it with the URL of the chart museum, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because otherwise, it has. I mean, we tried it without, but the registry of Harbor or the Harbor registry rules is not picking it up correctly, because I think it's not part of the spec, because it looks up in the catalog and the catalog is empty because it doesn't have a URL here. So it needs to have a URL to figure it out.
Yeah, great. Oh, this was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. So for the next session, I will create a demo and also explain how it is working. And this can be also integrated into Harbor if it makes sense, because then it would make consume charts easily. It will not serve charts, right? Like Chart Museum did. So it's not a solution for that, but it will make it easier to consume charts that are published in either OCI format or in Chart Museum format as OCI.
Yeah.
But can this tool help to handle the existing chart museum chart files?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
I mean that can it handle the existing chart museum chart files? I mean, the user already have some chart files in Harbor right now. They want to migrate them into the OCI chart. So I mean that it is possible that your tool can help to convert this existing charts into OCI chart file.
It can be extended, but currently we don't have any way to provide authentication and authorizations. So if your charts are public, then it would work. If they're not public, it's not working.
Sorry.
No,
but the current go ahead. But currently the pain point for user here is that they want us to provide it to help them to migrate the existing chart file, right, of Harbor right now. So maybe we can consolidate our existing solution and with your solution. We can combine them into one and two for user to migrate either existing charts or replicate the dynamic charts to convert them.
This can be easily integrated, and I had actually the idea or the plan to have it not just running as a service, right? So you can spin up as a service, as a registry proxy, but also as a CLI, right? So you just start it as a CLI, give a command, and it will just do the transaction. This was my idea, to have also it usable as a CLI, but it's not yet implemented. And if you add somehow authentication, it can also do it to proxy your existing health charts.
Okay. Yeah. We can talk offline too. I want to combine these two into one. And maybe we can replicate something from Harbor, a proxy. the charts from Harbor, existing Harbor instance, and convert them and push back to the existing Harbor. I mean, yeah. So yeah, let's have a discuss offline about this. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vadim.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
I need to
All right,
leave.
I think we're good to go. It's for 5 minutes over the hour. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Wanyan, for sacrificing your days off for this meeting, and Miner as well. See you next time in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Bye.